we're now we're live.
All right.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to HoGaLe's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, or know your nation, know yourself. And apologies for being a little bit late, folks. We're just having some little technical sound issues backstage. But Jen, you are with me right now. So nice to see you.
It's so
How are
good
things?
to see you, Hogarth. Things are really well. Things are very busy and cranking along, and things are well. Everything's good.
Excellent, excellent. And you guys, of course, will be wondering, where is Mel? Yes, Mel will be joining us soon. He managed to dig. What I do is I send everyone the email, isn't it, before the show. So I sent the email about 12 hours ago, but Mel has just got the stream now. So he spoke to me on WhatsApp to say he's joining us, but he says I just need a minute. So maybe he's just he's
freshening up,
exactly
ready.
Indeed, making sure that he's already in good. Let me just check in with WhatsApp to see if he's given me a little update here.
Okay.
So he said, look, got it just now. Give me a quick minute. And he said that at 5 minutes past midnight. So it's only 3 minutes more since then. So he'll be joining us soon, folks. So first of all, thank you everyone for joining us. Look, we've already got 530 of you here with us live. If you'd like to support the channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe and press the bell notification, and of course share with your friends. Please as well, if you are new to Jen, please don't forget to subscribe to her channel as well if you've not done so already. She does fabulous work, and we've had wonderful collaborations together, haven't we? Yes, Jen. Yes. And of course, if anyone is also as well interested in potentially joining me in my retreat in Santa Fe, New Mexico, at the end of August, 26th of August to the 30th, there are some spaces still available. That will be linked in the description below. It's either there now, or it will be there soon after the show has gone live. And of course, don't forget, we have the Candid guide to Neo-Vedic astrology. Thank you so much to everyone who's got it and all of the wonderful reviews. Mel has just 1 minute. Look, here's Mel right here. You can see there's Mel live on the screen. Let's see what's going on. He says, I can't find it in my Gmail in my computer. Can you resend it? All right. Okay. So I sent him the link on his phone, but I think Mel is old school. So let's do
the email.
All right. Okay. Sending now. So what I'll do is un momento, folks. I need to go into my Gmail. And let's do compose. Doing all of this live. You know what it's like. You know what it's like with me, guys. Warts and all. StreamYard link. Yard link. HoGaLe's. We'll go on a bit longer, folks. HoGaLe's. There we are. And then let's paste. There it is. Here it is. Here it is. There we are. And then email that to him now. Sent. And then I'll just reply back. What did he say? Please able it. Yes, I have. I'll say to him, I have. You know that there we are. I have. There we are. There. Perfect. Right, let's begin. Because the show must go on, as they say. Yes. The questions are in, and I've got some of them on my phone. So, folks, thank you for joining us. 680 of you now. We're going to just start with a question that was actually submitted to my Thursday fry-up, but I didn't have enough time to have a look to answer the question. And, Jen, I just thought it'd be an interesting one to run past you as well. So this is coming from Nick Minks. Neurological diseases have increased 18% in 3 decades. Now, this may be controversial, but do the cards show if this is linked to the increased use of plastic packaging for food and drink? The 1970s really saw an increase in use, so I wonder if the increased ingestion of plastics is affecting us. So what are your thoughts on that? And I'll get shuffling.
Well, I'll go in and look. I do medical intuitive readings, and I can read bodies. I can scan and see what's going on. But yes, absolutely, plastic, that is the problem with us using so much plastic. And even if we are recycling, plastic is in our food chain supply. I lived in Hawaii, you guys, for 10 years, and barges would be sent from the mainland of the United States way out past the tide, the flow, so that it would flow back towards Micronesia. That's why Micronesia is so full of plastic, and all these young people are making bracelets and doing these fundraisers to help save the environment. Yes. So what it does is it breaks down. It's so minute, and it wraps around. I see the nerve endings in our bodies. It covers that sheath. So it's like at the very end, just imagine fingers is what I'm seeing, and it's covering the tips of our nerve endings. So yes, a lot of folks experience neurological problems. They experience those idiopathic problems that doctors can't really identify. But yes, very good question. Plastic is, and it's changing us. It's changing our molecular structure.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow. Because I understand plastics as well, microplastics and stuff like that. And I'm going to pull some cards in this. Also connected as well with hormonal changes, changes in the digestion, etc. We even have microplastics now. So I've recently got a new filter on my tap water, because the tap water in the UK has really started to go astray because privatization, etc. And it's this guy, I actually saw his adverts on Instagram, actually, and he's made this super fine filter, which was designed in the UK but manufactured in Italy. And it literally filters out microplastics, hormones, etc. The water tastes wonderful now. Wow. You can tell there's no chlorine in it. It's brilliant. And everyone needs this, because also as well, from what I understand, in the United States, in certain states within the US, there are still issues with lead piping as well, which is a big problem too, because that can be linked to violence and, different things like that. So let's see what's going on. Hopefully Mel is going to be joining us soon. I've emailed it to him, but let me just see what the cards have to say about the plastics. And anything else you want to add to that, Jen, as I pull some cards?
Oh, no, I appreciate the question. I'll throw cards to see on when Mel is going to arrive.
He's typing now.
Okay, good.
Oh, wait a minute.
What's that?
Wait a minute. This looks like slightly a different email here. 1 minute. 1 second. 1 second. It looks like he's sent me a different email to. 1 second. No. Right. Okay. He's asking if he can do it on his iPhone. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He did that for years.
Let's do that. And then the email he sent was Mel. Sorry of this, folks, but live TV. I don't try and hide anything when it comes to this stuff. So hopefully he's going to join on the laptop. Let me see what cards I've got to elaborate on this plastics. Interesting. Oh, lots of what? All right. Here we are. So Mel's going to join us on the iPhone. So if we look here, what I've got here is the Empress. Now, look at this. Is this him? Is this him? 1 minute.
I couldn't get it in on my. For some reason, I could not get in on my computer. It's just my email's not coming through.
Oh, bless. Not to right. You've made it, Mel.
Yay, Mel's here.
I've been trying for like 15 or like 16 minutes. I can't. I don't know. I don't know why it's not coming through on my Gmail on my computer. So.
Bless. Well, you've made it now, and it's all good. So just to bring you up to speed, Mel, we've taken a question which is on microplastics, well, plastic in general, and it'd be interesting to see what your psychic hits are. So I'll read out the question for you. I'm about to read my cards, but I'll read out the question for you. From Nick Mink, says neurological diseases have increased 18% in 3 decades. Now this may be controversial, but do the cards show if this is linked to the increased use of plastic packaging for food and drink? The 1970s really saw an increase in use, so I wonder if the increased ingestion of plastics is affecting us. So Jen's already responded, but what's your hit on that, Mel, just hearing that question there? Plastics and the humans.
I think a lot of the increase in neurological diseases is also from cell phones and the earbuds. The incidence of glioblastoma is off the charts. And a lot of doctors are thinking it's because people use cell phones a lot. And, it's, sound waves, there's a form of radiation coming from them. So that plays into it, I feel. The other thing is people are living longer. So as we live longer, you're going to see more of those kind of things. I'm sorry, I can't see what you're holding up. But
I have this on the back of my phone,
right,
to help with the radiation. And I have it on each laptop. And I also wear one of these.
Right.
And since I've done that, my sleep has improved a lot. And of course, this is why I wear these glasses as well, to protect my eyes from all of the blue light, because obviously it's midnight for me. And I found that has helped a lot. So you think phones as well, yeah, because they do give off, radiation and stuff like that. Anything to add to that, Mel, before I read my cards?
The other thing I think, too, is it's a lot of additives they put in our food. Now, certain places in Europe, it's illegal to put GMOs in food. But here, they put, GMOs, they put antibiotics, all kinds of stuff. And so I think that's adding to it. I do think that there's a lot of carcinogenic stuff in the plastics. And, we're eating everything out of plastic containers. And yes, I absolutely think that adds to it. So what I've done is I'm replacing all the plastic food containers with glass. There's things you can do. I've got my hearing aids in right now, so I'm hearing through my hearing aids. But when I'm not wearing those, I don't use those wireless earbuds. I plug the ones into my phone. So there's a few things you can do. As far as our food is concerned, try to buy organic. It's more expensive, but I think that would help a little bit. So the answer is, it's clearly environmental. Yes. Right.
I use my old school headphones as well, and I'm not going to those earbuds because I know they give so much stuff. But each to their own. So I'll read my cards, and then we'll get on with the next question. So the cards that I got was the first card I got was the Empress. Now the Empress is normally a very benefic card: generosity, fecundity, fertility, etc. Sometimes this is my Russia card, but for many people, for many readers, this card can also deal with America. It can represent America. But I think the most interesting aspect in terms of this question, food, diet, plastics, this is also a foodie card. You'll notice here that Empress, you see she's surrounded by sheaves of wheat and fertility. So she literally deals with harvest, food, fertility, nourishment. So very, very interesting, but she's also an expansive energy and a Jupiterian energy. So this is talking about something that is expanded potentially with the food. If we look at the second card that I have here, it's the victory card, but the second card in a 5-card spread is often seen as the obstacle card. So this is the opposite of victory. So the opposite of victory in terms of food, things connected with food, and the expansion. This can also talk as well about mass production, I would argue as well. There's definitely an element there. If we look here, the next card is the 3 of Wands. Now, Wands, I deal with passion, fire, but I also associate the Wands with entrepreneurships. Now, entrepreneurship. Now, what's interesting here is you see the merchant looking out to sea, waiting for the ships to come in. This can also talk about manufacturing and stuff like that. And of course, this has now become a global issue because we noticed all around the world, there's issues with food, diet, etc. If we look here, we've got the 6 of Swords. So this is about trying to move to smoother waters. I think people are recognizing now the impacts on diet, plastics, etc. I've got a new water filter, many things now I do for my health and stuff. But look, there is, if we see here, we've got the 5 of Swords. So again, this is about abuses of power, additives, things essentially kind of being corrupted or abused in some way. So my cards are picking up with what the both of you are saying. Interesting, eh? Interesting. Are you both ready for the next question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So that was the neurological diseases. Thanks so much, Lick Minx, for your questions. In fact, let's do a few quick shout outs as well. So here we've got Celtic Seer. 1 second. Hopefully I can click up when I click off. Saying, hello, Mel Doerr, Jen Hogarth, Sun and Jupiter in Taurus this evening, Western astrology. Oh, okay. Yes. Jupiter is also in Taurus in sidereal as well, but on the 1st of May. Let's see here. Someone's saying here, I live next to an agriculture field, soybeans or rye. From the time the crop goes in till the time of harvest, the crop is sprayed 3 times with chemicals. It's a big one, isn't it? It's a big one, that one. So let's move to the next question. So where is it here? I've got to read this one off my phone. I didn't have time to print off. Oh, this is interesting. All right, there's a Greg Abbott question that's come in. Let's save that in for a little bit later. Here we are. This one here has come in. Nick Minks again, but very interesting. Cuba laments the collapse of its iconic sugar industry. The one area that Cubans had security in is now under threat due to dilapidated machinery and imports. What's the future of this, and will Cuba ever be able to cut its ties and move forward to a better existence? So it seems here that the sugar industry in Cuba is having issues. What's your hits on that, folks? Jen, ladies first. Jen.
All right. It's going to change the Cuban economy. They're going to have an inundation. A new company is going to come in, work with the Cuban government. They're going to resurrect the sugar industry. The soil is depleted, I see, so it's going to be very difficult, though, to grow sugarcane and harvest. It's been used almost as much as how old the machines are. Wow. Everything is just kind of worn out. The people are worn out. That's the energy. It's just everything is worn. But I do see a bright and shiny like CH or one of these sugar conglomerates is going to come in and make a deal with the Cuban government to resurrect. Actually, they've already started. But yeah, it's had a tremendous impact on their culture, on their whole, their economy, security. It is a struggle, but it is going to change. But it's going to look very different than how it used to. But it'll be for the better. Yeah, thank you.
Mel, what's your hits on that? Cuban sugar economy. It's a very eclectic show here, as you know, very international.
I love it. You know, I feel it's an excellent question. And I probably think the same thing there is kind of what happened in Hawaii. In Hawaii, because they grew a lot of sugarcane and pineapples, the unions were there. And so, you know, the unions demand good wages for the workers. They demand this, they demand that, which I think is great to have labor unions. But then all of a sudden, the sugar companies decided to start growing sugarcane in third world countries. A lot of, you know, I'm not saying Philippines is third world, but like places like the Philippines and certain third world countries, because they could grow it much cheaper and then raise the prices and make a million times more profit.
Wow.
And I tend to think that's the same thing going on in Cuba. The infrastructure is crumbling. The mechanization, like Jen said, is really outdated. Just like in Cuba, all the cars are from the 1950s because of the trade embargo. And so I think they're having a hard time being competitive in the marketplace because of the sugar being grown in third world countries. I see them, I pulled the Seven of Cups, which is illusion, delusion, confusion. And there's a lot of confusion going on there. Now, another step I want to bring up is I had predicted, as my guides told me, that when Fidel Castro passed away, that there would be, you know, another president of Cuba who wouldn't last very long. Then there'd be like a little junta, which means a group that would kind of take power. But ultimately, within our lifetime, we'll see a Cuba Libre. That means a free Cuba.
Yep.
And I think that American businesses are already vying for beachfront property in La Havana to put up their hotels.
Yeah.
So I think they'll try to resurrect the sugar industry, but they're juggling. Look at that. That's the Two of Pentacles. So I see that economy at some point switching from agrarian, you know, growing sugarcane, to tourist, because I see a lot of tourists going there. The Three of Wands, I'm asking if they would completely turn their back on sugarcane, and the answer is no. They're just going to have the tourism industry futuristically, which will kind of be their big industry. I do think they'll keep sugarcane plantations open, but a lot of that in the future is going to be so tourists could come and see how it was done years ago and blah, blah, blah. But sugarcane is really bad for the soil, and Jim's right. They need to learn to replenish it. So I do see them trying to bring in experts from other places like Russia, things like that, but they're not getting very good advice on agronomy. So, but talking with other South American countries, for example, like Venezuela, things like that, to try to get, you know, more demand for sugar. But those countries are growing it themselves. So anyway, I know that's a long drawn out answer, but I do see them reviving it a bit, but not to the degree that it was. I see tourism within the next 5 to 7 years really taking over Cuba.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, I'll quickly read my cards, and then we'll look at the next question. So in terms of Cuba, sugar industry and stuff like that, and I think after this we'll take a look at Gavin Newsom, and we'll get Shakespeare's opinion as well on Gavin Newsom. And because you're the newest one, Mel, I'll get you to help me with the Shakespeare. I'll explain in a minute. So if we look here, this is the question about Cuba's sugarcane. Look, yeah, we got the four of swords here reversed. So yes, look, it seems like it has collapsed, at least for now. Yeah. So the Four of Swords, when it is the right way up, this can talk about being wounded in battle, but this is also can be meditation, reflection, stepping back from the fray. We'll see when it's reversed, depending on the cards that are next to it. But you know, it doesn't have a more positive connotation per se. This can be literally something either collapsing, dying, or maybe even on life support. So I think this is talking about the upending, at least at this stage, of the sugar cane industry in Cuba. I know next to nothing about it, but one thing I do know, it just like as the both of you have said, it's grown in lots of places now, far more efficiently at far greater scale. And they have obviously got the old, you know, things like this, or the old little kind of little combine, whatever it is that they've got there, and they can't quite compete. And sugar is sugar after all. It's not like it's wine where it's nuanced, you know, it's sugar, you know. And even if you're using sugar beets, you know, sugar at the end of the day. Oh, I've got to cover these little bits here. I've got to cover the naughty bits. The Lovers has turned up. Sorry, the algorithm doesn't like bits showing. So here we've got the Lovers that has turned up. Now, the Lovers card, funnily enough, as everyone knows, has been watching me for a while now, it is about choices. But when I'm reading on international stuff, for me, it means a lot about trade, goods, services, imports, exports, trade deals, etc. But it's turned up in the obstacle position. So, of course, this further underlines the industry is upside down for now, a bit in the doldrums. There are issues with trade because this is turned up in the obstacle position, but they are quickly trying to turn this around. If we see here, we have got the Knight of Swords, which I refer to as one of the fastest cards in the deck. So they're on it to quickly try and restructure and revamp. But this could also as well be other international interests in Cuba wanting to go in and get their piece of the pie, because everyone's been waiting for Castro to die. And at some point, maybe under a new administration, things will change. Yeah. If we see here, the world is interested. Sorry, I've got to cover the other bits, you know, for the algorithm. But this is the world card, which is what? Endings and beginnings, beginnings and endings. So this is, I would say, is a revamping of the whole industry. And maybe this, in the end, will actually bring Cuba into more of an international fold. And if we see here, we have the Queen of Cups. And of course, this is a very kind of creative card, but with the Queen of Cups, she has her secrets here. So this tells me maybe there are quite secret plans already afoot. Maybe there's quite a lot of stuff going on that we're not necessarily aware of. So with this card here in the middle, this is saying, yes, I think new business is going to rush in aggressively to take advantage of the new opportunities. All right. Awesome. Would you like the next question, folks?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, brilliant. All right, let's see as well who else is first.
I was ready.
No problem. So Sharon Donnelly is saying, thumbs up, everyone, please. Thank you, Sharon. Oh, look at this. Just an elaboration on the previous one. Just Kendra said, I have a family member nurse who said people were getting cancer, leaving plastic waters in a hot car and then drinking the water. Wow, very interesting. And someone else is saying here, Linda Powell saying, they spray the green tops of growing potatoes with Roundup before they harvest them to kill that top and make it easier to harvest. And they want us to believe that it doesn't go into the potatoes. Oh my goodness. Now, oh gosh, Roundup is a devastating, horrible pesticide, but
yeah,
it's really not good.
Actually, okay. Roundup is a herbicide, and it's horribly it's horribly cancer causing. So
very toxic.
I had a dog that died of leukemia because one of the neighbors sprayed their yard with Roundup, and she ate the dried grass, and she died of leukemia because of it.
Oh, Mel, I'm sorry.
That's terrible.
So it's really carcinogenic.
And it affects the endocrine system as well, and the hormones as well. It's Roundup is, again, for entertainment purposes only, because we know there's a lot of pharma and all that stuff that watches, but you know what I mean? It's not good. Let's just put it that way. So let's look here. Let's look at Gavin. No, not what is it? No, not Gavin Newsom. What am I talking about? What was the question here? It was the guy that's in Texas.
Abbott.
Here we are. Abbott, yes.
Abbott.
So at MITZ, MITZ has asked, hi, Hoagie, Mel, and Jen. Do you see any consequences to Governor Abbott for his pardoning of Daniel Perry, who was convicted of murdering, a Black Lives Matter protester? He has served 1 year of a 25-year sentence. Really? Wow.
And he was pardoned? What's his name again, Hogarth, please?
It's saying here, so I'll just read it again. So, hi, Hoagie, Mel, and Jen. Do you see any consequences to Governor Abbott for his pardoning of Daniel Perry, who is convicted of murdering a Black Lives Matter protester? He has served 1 year of a 25-year sentence. We'll see what Shakespeare thinks as well. So what's your hits on that, Jen?
Well, I'm going to throw cards. So, Mel, go ahead if you like, sir.
It's hard for me to throw cards because I'm holding my cell phone with one hand.
Bless.
Okay.
Ready?
Well, it just goes to show what a bigot, for entertainment purposes only, and racist that Greg Abbott really is. You know, I asked about Greg Abbott's political career, and I pulled the Four of Swords, which is a death card. Maybe not a physical death, but clearly the death of Greg Abbott's political career. Once he's out as governor, and he's going to try to do away with term limits, but that won't work. I see a governor coming into Texas who's going to be a Democrat, and I see Paxton getting his Waterloo as well.
Really?
But back to the question about, because he pardoned somebody, the governor has the right to do that. But what I see is that it's going to come out that some people got to Abbott, and they I don't know if they gave him money, but struck some kind of deal to pardon this guy. And that is probably criminal. And so I've often seen Abbott under indictment for a lot of things, and this is going to be one of them. So, but once he pardoned this man is out of jail. There's nothing they can do unless he commits another crime to put him back in.
Wow.
Unless they can prove that they conspired to pardon this guy, criminal conspiracy to pardon this guy, and they will be able to prove that at some point. So I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know the legal ramifications of that for the one that got pardoned. But oh yeah, it's going to be a you-know-what show. So.
Wow. Okay, Jen, what do you have on Greg Abbott? Yeah. And then I'll read my cards, and then we'll get Shakespeare's opinion.
Okay. Yeah, he's a racist. He's just a horrible man. And this was just mired in, the old boys club, the cronies I see. Just like Mel said, I've got the ace of coin. So this was all about money. It was totally motivated by money from the old boys club in order to keep the status quo, because they've got the moon. It's all that stuff, the underbelly, scratching the underbelly, the ugly. But this is what motivates this party in Texas, this group of people. This is what motivates their base, and it's so sad. They're hanging on to the old, right? And he is going to get his due. Exactly like Mel said, that I've seen him going to jail, and it's going to be later, like after his tenure, but he's going to have to pay for, he will, it's not that he has to, but he will pay for what he has done.
Fascinating.
Yeah. It's motivated by money, and it's, you know, just part of the status quo racism. This is what we think. These are my guys, right? Protecting them. Yeah.
And just a quick, just a little quick bit of a feedback here, Mel. We understand that you are obviously you're joining on your phone.
I am.
Oh yeah, and they were just someone was just saying if you could hold the phone a bit closer so they could hear you a bit better, but you've already just done it actually.
Well, I turned it sideways, but I'm just trying to get a good angle on it, and it's hard because for some reason I'm not getting my emails on my computer, and I don't know why. So
yeah,
I don't know if everybody can hear me now or.
Well, I mean, I can hear you, but guys, live TV, as you know, as they say, the show must go on. Sun flares, all sorts. Trust me, I've had it all. I've had it all on this show. I'm just amazed that my computer's working. So I'll quickly read my cards, and then
I'm just going to turn it back around. It's better from this angle. It's easier for me to hold. I apologize.
No problem. No problem. So here, what are the cards that I get for Gavin Newsom? Now, what's really interesting is that I've got some of the cards that the both of you have got as well. So straight off the bat, if we look here, what do we have? We've got the Moon card. How pertinent. So straight away, this tells us there is an element of subterfuge here. There is an element of mystique. There is an element of things not being quite right. The Moon card in general is not the most positive card in the deck. I mean, it depends what's around it. The positive interpretation is someone using their intuition, you know, maybe psychic gifts, etc., stuff like that. However, we see here, we have the wolf and the dog. So the Moon card is always talking about the conflict within mankind between the wild side and the domestic and tamed side. Also, as well, the challenge here of this card is to walk between the two pillars of truth in the middle of the night. But there is the lobster, as you can see, the lobster coming out of the water. This is talking about those deep elements of the subconscious here, or the uncanny, or the strange, or just something a bit weird. So what this says is, look, there's a whole element of subterfuge here. If someone's given a 25-year sentence and they only serve 1 year, come on, yeah, for what? Actually murdering someone, being found guilty in the court of law, and you get 1 year of the 25-year sentence. Come on, we know that is dodgy straight off the bat. In the obstacle position, what do we have? We've got the King of Wands. So look, here he is. It's Abbott here. Why do I keep, for some reason, I keep in my mind, did I say Gavin Newsom? Apologies if I did. For some reason, that's fixated in my mind. I've got no idea why. But here's Abbott. And appropriately, you can see here's this king sitting down. So this is him here. This is his energy. But this is also as well talking about business, entrepreneurship, CEOs, etc. Funny enough, look what I get. You know, I get the Four of Swords comes back again. And what's interesting is I turned the card the right way up the last time I got it, and Spirit turned it back upside down. So what this suggests to me is that, yes, there is a time limit. There is a time limit to what Gavin Newsom. Why do I keep saying him? I don't know why he keeps coming into my mind. Maybe there's some news that's going to be on him soon. Anyway, Abbott. So there's a time limit here. There's eventually, basically, his time is going to run out, and he's going to have to pay the piper. Particularly when we see the next card here, which is the Five of Pentacles. Yeah, so being out in the cold, you know, poverty, illness, etc., stuff like that. So it's probably going to be after his tenure is over. He'll have to face some consequences. And then when we look at the last card, the outcome card, he gets the Death card. Now, as you guys know, this doesn't always literally mean death, but it certainly means transformation. But when you put these three together, I think he's on borrowed time. I think he's on borrowed time. He can only get away with things for so long before, the ultimate transformation comes his way. Very interesting, that, isn't it? Anything to add to that before we move on? Or we do Shakespeare? Anything to add to that?
Nothing from me.
All right. Okay, so let's get Shakespeare's opinion. Oh, Jen, I forget you've got the booklet as well. So Mel, I'll let you know, you may or may not know this. So on my show, when we're dealing with ne'er-do-wells, particularly unsavory characters, we go to this book here, which is Shakespeare, The Bard's Guide to Abuses and Affronts. As you're the newest on, what I do is I close my eyes and I flick through the pages, and you tell me when to stop. And wherever I stop, I read that page, and that is the bard's opinion on that person. Make sense? Yeah? All right, here we go. So I'm flicking, and Mel,
Stop.
when you feel
Stop.
All right. He was super quick. Oh, this is very interesting. Okay, this quote's coming from Much Ado About Nothing. Now, it says she, but we can swap it for he if we want. Let's put it this way. I'm going to change she for he. If he should make tender... No, actually, I'm just going to read she, and let's just see how we interpret that. If she should make tender of her love, 'tis very possible he'll scorn it. For the man, as you know all, hath a contemptible spirit. That's from Much Ado About Nothing. And let's see what's on the next page here. And then here, the next one, it says, this is from All Is Well That Ends Well. He did love her, sir, as a gentleman loves a woman. He loved her, sir, and lover her not. Oh, isn't that interesting? I'll read it again. He did love her, sir, as a gentleman loves a woman. He loved her, sir, and lover her not.
Exactly.
Now, isn't that interesting?
It's so true.
Gavin, this guy, again, Gavin keeps coming out of my mouth. Abbott.
Close.
I think this is his relationship as the governor of Texas. For me, it's this subtle kind of subterfuge where he pretends to be the advocate for Texas, looking after it, but really he's not loving it at all. When I think of all the stuff that's gone wrong, do you remember with the cold plunge and everyone was literally left out in the cold?
Yes.
All of the things with storms and all of that kind of stuff, and people just seem to be left to their own devices when things go wrong. So for me, this is the disingenuous lover. But what are your thoughts on that, folks, before we move on?
He doesn't give one damn about the people of Texas. All he cares about is his own agenda and pandering to the ultra right-wing Christian nationalists, the MAGAs, and that little group of American apartheid. You know, he'll do anything to pander to the bigotry and racism in some people, just like Hitler did. And yes, I've just compared him with Hitler, everybody, for entertainment purposes only, because his behavior is rather Hitlerian. And I think the female in question that you're talking about is the state of Texas. So sometimes we refer to our states as feminine, like she, all right? And so I agree. I think it's the relationship that Abbott has with the state of Texas. And, you know, how's the old saying, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned? Well, that female energy in Texas is going to make sure that he's washed up.
Fascinating. And we have 1,391 people watching us live right now. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us live. And happy Sunday to everyone watching us on the Sunday, usually with a nice coffee. We've managed to overcome our technical difficulties and the show is flowing nicely. Let's also see as well who's in the chat, and then we'll go on to the next question. So we'll just get some more responses here. And then someone said here, Trouble Woman said, so Mel is a tarot reader. Yes, he reads tarot as well. Sure. He does. Everyone's very multi-talented here as well on the shows. Someone just said here, the Bard. Yeah, Wheezy Squeezebox. Yeah, I know. The Bard never lets us down. More feedback on Cuba here. Cuba's coffee boom saw the country become a top global coffee exporter by the 1940s and produce a record 60,000 tons in 1960 to 1961. Thank you for that extra information there. Let's just see here as well. I'm scrolling down a bit more.
Now Africa. Now Africa is a huge coffee producer. When we were in Africa, they grow the coffee, but they roast it on an open fire and they would pound it for us. They pound it in like this tube and they pound it and they sing. But it was the best coffee I've ever had in my entire life. Oh my God, that coffee is so
wow,
good. So good. It's incredible.
Wow. Brilliant, brilliant. Rainbow Cleft is saying pardoned on Thursday or Friday. So so you've got all of this stuff. And then what is this? Oh, here we are. And someone is asking, Sheila Hewitt is saying, does listening to music YouTube on hearing aids cause damage as the same as ear pods? What's your feedback on that, Mel? Because you mentioned hearing aids.
Well, right now I've got my hearing aids in, and you know, years ago they didn't utilize Bluetooth, and now they do. But nobody else in the house can hear me. I can hear you guys through my hearing aids. But here's the deal. A lot of times people walk around with those ear pods in like all the time. As soon as I'm done with work or in between clients or when I get home at night, I take my hearing aids out. And so they're not always, and the, you know, so I think it's a little bit different, but it has concerned me. But you know, there are times when I just need them to hear. So it's a trade-off.
Yeah, you just have to. Yeah.
Right. But I don't use ear pods. If I'm gonna if I'm gonna talk on my iPhone, usually I'll plug in the little thing at the bottom that's got the wires that goes to the wire earbuds, you know, that plug in the phone, not the Bluetooth ones. So I use Bluetooth as less as I can. Mm-hmm. I just didn't have time to plug them in tonight because I couldn't get my email on my computer, and I got it on my iPhone. I'm like, okay, get the show.
Indeed, we just go with it. No, thank you for that reply, that response. All right, let's this question's come in from the SAF. I think that's the way, CHESSAF. I'm going to call it the SAF. So she says, hello, Hogarth, Mel, and Jen. So nice to have the three of you together. I was wondering if you could read on Ivan Gershkovich, the WSJ reporter. I don't know what the abbreviation means. Detained by the FSB, so that's the Russian intelligence service, in Russia for more than 1 year and 50 days now. How is he holding up? Are the Biden administration actively negotiating for his release? Do you see him released soon? Thanks so much. So there's a couple of questions in there. So Jen, any hits on that, on Ivan Gershkovich?
3 months. They're going to release him in 3 months. They're working to release him. 3 months.
I'm not getting a time frame on it, but I don't think that they are going to find him dead like they did Navalny, because we all know that Navalny was poisoned again and again. And you know, my standing joke is, you know, Putin's people always seem to fall out a window, and I'm going like, well, you can't die from falling out a first floor window, you know. So I don't think they're going to find him falling out of a first floor window. They are negotiating his release, but you know, I don't know if it's in 3 months or not, but I'm hearing that he will be home free and safe.
Yep.
Very interesting. And my cards seem to echo the both of you. My cards seem to echo the both of you. So sorry, I just wanted to check that. Oh, sorry, I didn't look up. What was that? What was that, Jen? You had a card there.
It'll be a trade. They'll do a trade.
They'll do a trade.
Yeah. I see
This
one
is really
season. So I see time and seasons. So that's 3 months. So I see one season. So
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So what did I get here? So I've got the Knight of Pentacles here. Now, the Knight of Pentacles is one of the slowest cards in the deck. Yeah. So let's just say they're working slowly behind the scenes. Yeah. This is taking time. And obviously he's been in there for a year and, loose change and however long. But, so this is the card of slow and steady progress. Sometimes this card can also have the connotation of the mercenary, but it can also talk about, money as well, maybe something, secret deals, etc., stuff like that. Either way, it's not quick, so it will take a bit of time. I think here in the obstacle position here, but I think this is even Gershkovich trying to hold on here, feeling embattled, trying to keep his sanity. Here you can see the guy is bandaged up after being beaten up in a fight, but holding on, determined and resourceful. Yeah. So I think this is Gershkovich here. However, it's not easy. Look at this. We have the poverty card returns again, the 5 of Pentacles, feeling out in the cold. So of course, if you are in a foreign country, effectively held prisoner, then certainly that's going to be how you're feeling, isn't it? You're going to be feeling impoverished, out in the cold, isolated, not in the safety of church, church, so to speak. However, they are negotiating with some big names, shall we say, in the FSB. Could this be a little bit of Putin action here? We'll have to see. But either way, they're talking to the authorities there because we've got the King of Pentacles. And again, they may have to cross the paths with gold or silver. Money is also a factor. But look at the outcome card. We get the 10 of Cups. So this would suggest, yes, there will potentially be a happy ending where, the family is reunited and the kids are playing. So I think it's going to take a little while, a bit of backwards and forwards. But it does seem to imply that he will be replaced, and it could be very close to Jen's timeline. We'll have to see. But it's certainly not going to be breakneck speed. I'll be very surprised if it says he's released tomorrow, but either way, that would be good news.
Or it could be after he's been there a total of 3 years, But I just pulled a card. I got the 2 of Pentacles, which I think, Jen, you're right, is like negotiating back and forth, quid pro quo. You wash my hand, I'll wash yours, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we can see I pulled 5 cards, 3 of them are Pentacles. So there will also there's a financial element there as well. It's be under the radar, but there'll be things, come on, we've got your guy. Come on, give us a little something.
Right.
Yeah. There's something going on there. Right. Gosh, the time goes so quickly. Let's squeeze in one more. What's this? Architect. Oh, okay. This is an interesting one. This one just came in. It says, hi, Hoagie and the creative crew. And so, of course, Mel and Jen. Will Stephen Miller, the architect of ripping children away from families at the border, get his comeuppance? Some of the children have never been found. Jen, what's your hit on that as I make a note on that, Stephen Miller?
He's just horrible. He's Goebbels incarnate, he and his wife. He'll get his comeuppance energetically. But as far as being in trouble, I mean, there are kids. There is one boy up in, I'm from Washington State. I know someone who was, it was her job to license daycares. And so she got a call. I mean, she ran the department. She got a call in the night, and they went to There was a woman who usually takes kids in emergency placement. And so she got this call to gather all the social workers together, and they went to her house, and 7 babies arrived in carriers.
Wow.
And so they've all been reunited except one boy, and that was 7 years ago. He's still at her house. They can't find their parents. There's been many, many groups, many attorneys, people who have been trying to reunite. Our government has been working on it. There's groups that are working on it. But as far as Stephen Miller, he will not be in trouble. I do not see, legally, for what he has done. Energetically, yes, but he's of the same ilk as Trump and Putin. That's what I see. So,
all right.
Well,
Mel, what do you get?
I asked about the kids being reunited, and I pulled the world. So I do think many of them will be reunited. It's just going to take maybe 2 or 3 more years. It's going to come out that I don't think he's going to be held responsible for what he's done with taking these kids away from their parents. But there's other things that's going to come out about him that's going to cause him. I'm hearing in Hawaiian for some reason. My Hawaiian guide must be here. It's going to cause him nui pilikia. Nui pilikia means big trouble. And it's going to come out about him taking payoffs and all kinds of stuff. So at some point, I do see him incarcerated, but not for this. I pulled the 2 of Swords, and right now it might seem like people are turning a blind eye to his shenanigans, but this card means breaking away. And so it also, I think, verifies what Jen said, that energetically he's also going to get his karmic comeuppances. I think people like him think that they're never going to get caught. They think that they're above the law. They spew their hatred under the guise of individual freedom. But that's going to bite him squarely where the sun doesn't shine.
Yep.
That's what I say.
Yeah, thinking that his perception is it. He doesn't entertain somebody else's idea or thought. He doesn't have the ability to walk in someone else's shoes or feel what it would be like. He's so similar to Trump, Hitler, Putin. They all have that similar thread where they don't feel. You guys feel that?
You know what just hit me? Once Trump is gone, he's actually going to think of running for president, and that's really frightening. Because I pulled the 7 of Cups.
Yeah.
Delusion, confusion.
Okay.
But I think once Trump is gone, that he's going to meet his Waterloo. That's what I see. Every Napoleon has their Waterloo, and his will be huge.
Fascinating.
I'll take perverse pleasure in seeing it as well.
Indeed. And I just want to, before I read my cards, I just want to share some more comments that came in terms of what we were talking about, subjects we were talking about earlier. I'm just going to click them up. So Linda Powell says, McDonald's buys most of its potato from Idaho, where they use Roundup. That's true, Jay, cat lady. They don't want to wait for that to occur naturally. 1 second. And then someone says here, Roundup is a synthetic herbicide. It gets soaked and kills the roots. I got Hodgkin's non-lymphoma carcinoma from working with it for years. Oh, bless you. Yes, it's really, it's really not great. But, sorry?
It's notorious for causing lymphomas, leukemias, all that sort of stuff.
It's just terrible. It should be nowhere near food. It's just absolutely ridiculous.
It's a systemic herbicide. It gets in the entire plant. And so, it's funny when you hear, farm to table, everybody thinks that's so holistic. It's not. What you have to ask is, what kind of herbicides did they put on those plants? What kind of pesticides did they put on those plants? What kind of fertilizers do they use? Those are the questions you need to ask. And I do see legislation coming in this country to help protect us all from that sort of flagrant abuse.
Indeed. So someone was saying here, Greg Abbott is unreal. He's so corrupt and monstrous. Someone said here, for entertainment purposes only, he needs to swim the Rio Grande. And then finally, one of the things here is, Val Bowen says, grow your own veg. Absolutely.
That's a great idea, but some of us have townhouses and we can't. We grow ours in buckets, but still, not everybody can do that.
Oh, indeed. Let's do. I think we got time for one question, so we started a little bit later, so we're going to go over just a little bit longer. Not too long, of course, because of course people got stuff to watch. And at the moment, we have got 1,477 live with us in a room right now.
Yay!
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Yes, it's great stuff. Let's do a quick reading on the old Trumpy dump. Yeah, crispy duck l'orange. Because from what I understand now, forgive me, guys, that I've been resting. I've been taking a break, from the news in general. Most of the news in terms of what I'm finding out is literally what is turning up on the show. I've been barely even watching UK news. But from what I understand, Trump's trial is going to finish soon, isn't it? The Stormy Daniels hush money thing. Is it finishing on, I guess it's finishing on Wednesday next week? I think they said 10 days in total, isn't it? When is it due to finish? Yet. I just thought. Oh, really? Okay.
It depends on redirect, I think, because the prosecution gets to do redirect on some of the questions that the defense asks. So, bless you.
Wow. Okay, no problem. Let's have a little read then. Because I'm quite curious about that. Because look, thus far, this is the only case this side of the election that even has the potential to put crispy duck l'orange behind bars for any kind of time whatsoever. So I think let's have a read on that. How do the both of you feel that this will pan out for Trump? Will he be charged and go to prison, or is it going to be another one of these dog and pony shows? So, Jen, what's your feeling on that? And then Mel, and then I'll pull some cards.
Yes, he's going to prison. And Cohen's testimony has nothing to do with if Cohen lied or not. It has nothing to do with whether he'll be convicted or not. The evidence is pretty strong. The jury's going to go with what is on paper, what the evidence is. So yes, I do see him being convicted.
Well, Trump is trying to, and his team are trying to cause what he always does, like conflict, the five of wands. I pulled the King of Wands, which would stand for Trump. He is very nervous. Trump is very, very nervous. Look at this. He's like not sleeping at night, his anxiety, his anger. Whoa. I'm sorry, I'm dropping my cards here. His undue influence, the deception, how he deceives people. More of that's going to come out on redirect. And I see him walking away. He'll never show shame, but he is going to walk away in shame. I see the Three of Swords, which is a little bit of a delay, a disappointment, but the final outcome is a death card. So I'm saying that would be, I see him found guilty, and I see him sentenced to jail. He'll appeal it because he'll try to say it's a mistrial, but the appeals court won't hear it. So, it's not going to bode well for Trump. Those are the cards I pulled.
Brilliant. Okay, and just to round everything up, and we've also just hit 1500 here as well. So thank you so much for everyone for joining us. Happy Sunday. If you're joining us on Sunday with your coffee, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification if you'd like to support the channel, if you've enjoyed the entertainment. And if you are new to either Jen or Mel, please don't forget to like and subscribe to their channels as well. It'd be much appreciated. Big love to everyone who is joining us right now and watching this later. It's much appreciated. All right, Duck L'Orange, my goodness. You know, sometimes I really do get the drama cards here, and these cards are full of drama. So you ready, folks? Bolt yourselves in. So straight up here, we've got the Page of Cups, which everyone knows I refer to as stinky fish. Yeah. So this can be you have to call it stinky fish. It's an I've been saying this for ages, but everyone knows this now. I have my own little twist on the cards. So pages are all about messages, but whenever I see the Page of Cups, it very often can refer to an unpleasant message or uncomfortable news, obviously in this case, for Duck L'Orange, aka Trump. If we look here, just in case we weren't sure it was about him, here we are. We see the King of Wands, just like Mel got. Here he is, though, in the obstacle position. So again, this is a very entrepreneurial card and can be very much talking about the businessman. So of course, this is going to be bad for Trump's business. He's going to try and grift and raise money off these things, but it's never a good look, you know. And also as well, let's not forget too, a lot of his people, a lot of his followers are also getting fatigued because he asks them for money all the time. Surprise, surprise, Seven of Swords here. Someone tried to get away with something, as is always the case with Duck L'Orange. This is also as well talking about his team and the whole infrastructure around Donald Trump, trying to sneak away from justice. However, Monsieur Death returns. The Death card is back. Transformation, not always literal death, of course, as we would say here, but this is where the king is being trampled underfoot. No matter the pleading, even of the clergy, even the Pope himself cannot stop that march of transformation. And just in case we weren't sure that it probably is not going to work out that great for Trump, look at that. In fact, we've got the 10 of Swords there, and I have to cover this a little bit because again, the algorithm takes issue with this card. So yes, the 10 of Swords. So it's not looking good. If he were to come out of this, I think it would be on the level of miracle. If he were to come out this without a conviction, then what is the point of even having the courts in the first place? But with cards like that, it's looking difficult for Trump. I'll be very surprised if he comes away unscathed with cards like that. But the time has gone. Can you believe it? It's gone in a flash. We did have some technical difficulties earlier, folks, but such is live TV. I want to thank Jen and Mel. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you enjoyed the show.
It was incredible.
It always goes in a flash.
I apologize for being late. I just couldn't find it. And then when you text me, I'm like, yeah, I'm looking. Let me my last email came through on my Gmail account at 2 p.m. today. So for some reason it wasn't there from yesterday, and I looked in the trash. I was looking from everywhere, and the one you just sent, but for some reason it came through. Well, because it came through on my iPhone, but it didn't come through on my computer. So I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Okay.
But anyway, we're here.
Lots of sun flares. We made it. So I want to thank the both of you for joining me, and of course you are both welcome back. Also as well, let's give a shout out to Lady G as well. I need to actually, I've been so ridiculously busy as well with other stuff. I'm going to check in with her, see how she's doing in her recovery. And so we will see everyone next week. We've got a kind of a little rotation here, but Mel, you are the first man apart from myself to be on the show, I think, ever. So congratulations.
Let's do this again. I'll have you guys on my show. Can I just say
that would be wonderful.
I would love it, Mel.
Can I just say one thing? Everybody, please send your condolences and healing energy to Linda Grendel's family. Her cousin Regina passed away of ALS, and Regina's sister is Sue Montgomery, and Sue's a wonderful person, and Regina was just an angel, and her family's so wonderful. So everybody, condolences to Regina's family and to Linda Grendel, because it's her cousin, but they were very close. So
bless. I'll just send some prayers over and stuff like that now. Yes, I would second that. So if you're watching, Linda, commiserations as well, and you know, absolutely, the healing energy and stuff like that is always so difficult, isn't it? And I did say to everyone in my predictions, I said 2024, guys, it's going to be all about health and healing, all of this kind of stuff. I'm having my own little challenge with my blood sugar and stuff. It's getting good, but you know, I don't get to escape either, even though I do all of my astrology and all that stuff. Energy is energy, and it's just something that we are facing as a collective. Health, healing, food, diet, environment, everything is all being examined. So yes, challenging times, but also hopeful times as well. There will be breakthroughs as well and development. So let's not forget the light, and magic, of course, is returning. And if you want to know more about magic as well, don't forget, you can check out my book as well in the link description below. But thank you so much, guys, for joining me. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And we will see you soon, of course. And Mel, it would be a pleasure to be on your show, but we must end it there lest we go on too long. So bye-bye now to everyone, and we will all see you soon. Mwah! Big love. All right. Bye-bye for now.